Thanks. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
And we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am here with Cheryl. Hey, Cheryl, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Casey?
Good. So I'm so excited that you are here with me today. And we have a little bit of, what do you say, like paths that have crossed but never got to meet.
Yes, that's so great when that happens. It's a
Yes,
small world and it gets smaller every day.
it is. So you are a teacher. What made you want to become a teacher? What was your why?
Well, I was a music major so many years ago and music education, and it just made sense. And one thing just led to another. And I graduated on a Friday and went to work on a Monday, and I've been working ever since.
Wow. Okay, so you graduated on a Friday and started work. I was very fortunate in that I also was hired right on after graduating. That doesn't happen all the time, everybody. Like, I feel like I was at the right place at the right time, especially for Dodds. They were the first ones that hired me. I did all my student teaching and everything with them, and they all of a sudden made the ratios lower. And so they needed 3 teachers fast, and I was one of them.
You are so lucky to get a job with Dodds because I was with Dodds for 22 years, and my happiest teaching ever was with Dodds. It was it's such a great system.
Yes.
But I did teach in Georgia for 14 years and was at great schools in Georgia.
Excellent. So for those of you that don't know, I have my notes here. So if you see me looking down, I have my little cheat sheet over here. So you've been a teacher for 22 years, or was that an in-classroom teacher?
Well, I've been a teacher way more than 22 years. Almost 40 years. I was with the state of Georgia for 14 years and then with Dodds. And then I came back in 2016. I moved back to the States and I took early retirement. And I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. And I tried this thing out and that thing out. And one of the things that I tried out was piano teaching at a school locally. But then I got a job in the schools, and that, of course, that paid a lot better. So I let that go for a little while, and I started teaching in the schools. And then the pandemic, and then I just stayed at home, and I heard about this wonderful online teaching, and I tried it. And one thing, I was throwing spaghetti on the walls, trying different things, classes. But the one thing that stood out was the one-on-one teaching. And that made sense because I was a piano major. And during the pandemic, I told online music teachers, something like that. Anyway, it was geared toward piano teachers and how to do it online. So working online with this portal and then being in that class, it gave me a lot of confidence to know what to do and how to do it. So ever since the pandemic, it just blew up. And so
that's, I mean, pandemic, not so good. But the fact that so many people have been able to revamp and figure out another way has been amazing to me. I think that's why my channel has done so well, because I started it just before then and ended up like doing interviews. And I think people just really craved talking and chatting and hanging out. And I can remember one night sitting there for 2.5 hours, just talking online in the YouTube space. And I'm like, I'm the one getting tired and ready to leave. But we had 27 people still in the live chat talking to us. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, speaking of live chat, I see we have somebody here. Don't be shy. Say hello. Let us know where you're from. And yeah, there's a chat for you over there. If you have questions for Cheryl, you can ask too.
Yeah. Can I see it? I don't think I can see it.
You can't unless you log into YouTube on my YouTube channel, but I can read them to you.
I'll leave it in your hands.
Yeah, no worries. And let us know if you can hear us and see us okay. I see my computer said something about the live. It's still saying preparing live stream, but we've been live for 4 minutes. So I think we're good to go.
Okay.
All right. So what grades have you taught?
Well, so I've taught anywhere in public schools. I've taught anywhere from kindergarten through 8th grade. And I mostly taught Well, it's been all different ages, but mostly it went down to kindergarten and it went to eighth grade. But it was like a shock when I started teaching kindergarten, but it was really one of the best things that ever happened to start teaching that age and to realize what sponges they are. And I really I enjoy. But now, when I was teaching online piano, I learned all about what market was looking for lessons. And the market looking for lessons was preschool. And so I started teaching 4-year-olds piano in this really, really fun method called Little Mozarts. And
Oh,
it's got these little stuffies and it goes with their attention span. It's just perfect for that age. So that's what a lot of my teaching was. And then I also have attracted the older kids from, say, grades 2 or 3 up to grades 5 and 6. And so I've really, really enjoyed that. And the wonderful thing is a lot of piano methods have redesigned, or new people have come out with methods where it's a lot easier to share it on Zoom.
oh wow.
And so, but the latest thing is reaching out to teach people that are retired. And I'm so happy to say my best student right now, she's 82 years old. And I go to her live, I go to her house, I design my teaching for whatever people need. The wonderful thing about Facebook is you can teach people all over the world, as you know.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I was only online, but I've started teaching in person. I probably have about 7 or 8 students in person now. And there's nothing, I mean, it's so rewarding to teach right there in the same room. But then the Zoom and all of these things have opened my whole world to the whole world. And so there's no limit now. And people say, well, is online a thing? Yeah, it really is a thing. And it really does work. It's so amazing. And then I have a thing that hooks on top of my piano and I put it down. And so you can see when I need to show the piano, I show the piano and they see it and they don't have to reverse left and right because that's a really big thing.
Right.
It really works. But I'm trying to push myself right now, trying to market myself more to teach people that are a little bit older. Maybe they've retired and they're searching for something to do. So I love to tell people I teach ages 4 through 84, and I truly mean it.
Right.
And, so there you go.
So my live still says preparing live stream, but I've reached out and Rebecca said she can hear us. Thank you, Rebecca. And she just can't type in the chat.
Okay.
So I tried to type to her to see if it would work. So if you saw me looking around for a minute, that's why. But Rebecca is also a music teacher, I believe.
Okay.
She currently works on OutSchool, but teaches all kinds of things because she's also a preschool teacher.
That's a wonderful combination.
Yeah. I'm team kindergarten. I taught kindergarten for a long time. I love the babies.
Well, I love this Little Mozarts, and so I use my knowledge from teaching preschool music in the schools into teaching piano. So for a portion of the lesson, we're working on things like their fingers and the notes, but I can, and you can too, I'm sure you can almost sense the second that you kind of lose their focus. And so I have materials that go with whatever we're teaching. Sometimes we work with a whiteboard. Sometimes they work with their colors with a workbook. And there is an expense, but it's well worth it.
Right.
It's so perfectly designed for the young learners. I have kids that are 6 and they don't want to leave it because they love the characters. And I said, well, there are methods out there for older kids, but they're just not wanting to let it go yet.
Right. Oh, okay. Let's see. So what made you want to do independent teaching online?
Well, the market is always changing and the algorithm rules everything. And it seems apparent to me the algorithm is still going through some changes. And I don't know, but just from my perspective, it appears that if you're a young teacher or a new teacher on OutSchool, it seems to me that your ads and your marketing must get out more. But for me, I always look, they give us the insights to know who's actually looking at our ads. And I just see it go down every week. And I want to teach and I want, and they do take a certain percentage. So it's like, well, I'd like to do the whole thing. I'd
Yeah.
like to get the whole big, and pay my own apps here and my own apps there.
Right.
So, so that's, I'm trying to create a sustainable thing that I can do, a real thing that's going to work, that will go, because OutSchool may go the way of VIP Kid. It may just like vanish one day, but for
Right.
now it's really good. But it was such a blessing in the pandemic. And now we just have to figure out the next steps.
And I think we've learned so much. Were you also a VIP Kid teacher?
Well, I signed up for it, but my one mistake is that I did not start trying to teach on there right away.
Okay.
So, and when I finally did, I got some, but it never took hold. But I think the secret is to, like, now it's working for these young teachers, get in there right away.
Right.
And, a lot of teachers, well, they'll say, you got to change up your classes for the seasons. And I can do that to a certain degree, but I've just decided this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make it work. I taught private piano right out of college. And when I was a young teacher, I'd have between 7 and 14 students all the time. And I was at a great school. And, I never had to market because we did the primitive marketing. And the mothers would always, so I always had just the right amount of students to teach.
Right.
Always really good students.
Yeah.
And so now it's just new skills to learn, which is good for anybody at any age to learn a new skill.
The reason I asked about VIP Kid and these online schools is because I think it was great when I was learning some of their professional development they had, learning how to use the Zoom and all the things. And then I think it's a great stepping stone before you get to independent teaching. But I think independent teaching is the goal and is the way, because you get to keep your money.
Yeah.
You do have to market yourself. That's one thing. OutSchool was always good about marketing and bringing new students onto the platform. Maybe not marketing everybody, but marketing. Some schools that I've worked for, you never saw an ad. You're like, well, where's the money going that I'm, paying them? But yeah, getting your name out there as an independent teacher is probably one of the biggest.
I've met some real superstars in the world of online teaching, and if they can do it and I can learn from them,
oh yeah,
we're just helping each other, and it creates a whole new space of having yourself a great income right at your house.
Excellent. I think, let's see. Oh, I wanted to ask you this. So we talked a little bit about how you design your classes. How do you design them for like students individually, having so many different students and age ranges? And
well, there's certain material that you want to go over with a young learner, and and have a lot of different activities. And then for an older, so there's curriculum that go with each age. And my goal, I'm always striving to know, well, what's on the market, what's the best received, and also what's easier to teach that you can easily share it online. Of course, if they don't have their books online, you can use Canva and you can somehow, but they've got a book and I've got a book and we're looking at the book together. But if I'm designing a package for somebody that's retired, I like to listen to what they want to do. They don't want to learn. They may not want to take forever. Maybe they just want to take lessons for 2 months and that's it. I'm good. But I try to listen to what they want me to do. And then I make suggestions, and then I help them get what they need to help them succeed. I have to brag. My favorite student right now is 82 years old. And she took when she was younger, but she's found that she's forgotten so much. And so I have, and she doesn't want to do games. I know she doesn't, but I take my iPad and there's a game where she has to play the notes she sees on the staff and she has to play it. And we just do that a little, but I try to do what she wants. And it took in person, I'm talking there, because so we've got online and we've got in person. It's like whatever the person is looking for. And so she had 3 lessons and she got COVID. Oh, she's 82 and her husband's a little bit older. And I was so worried. They'd all had all the boosters. And so we picked up this week and she amazed me. She had not had a lesson. She kept telling me, oh, I haven't practiced, but she went through the book. She must have picked out 8 different songs. And she just needed a little help with it. So I was so amazed, and she's ready to sign up for another package.
Right.
So I try to accommodate because everybody's different. Everybody's got different needs. And
Right.
I encourage my students to practice, but I'm also realistic, and I'll say, well, let's talk about 3 days. Let's talk about 3 days because people they have a different motive for taking. Maybe they're not going to music school. Maybe they just
Right.
want to play for their enjoyment. So
And I think it's important too. I mean, especially in her 80s, that she wants to keep doing those brain games and learning and playing and remembering. I think that's really important. My grandmother is in her 80s and she's the same way with like, she's got to do her crossword puzzles and, she's always like, I got to keep my brain sharp. So,
that's right. I know there's research to show that things like taking piano or learning a new skill, it really helps your brain stay sharp.
mhm. So I love it. You were talking about you have the gooseneck arm probably to show the hand so you can zoom in and all
Yeah.
of that. Has been learning the technology been difficult for
Well,
you when you
you just take it bit by bit.
right?
I had very patient families that I'm so happy to say there's
Nice.
a few that were with me in the very beginning, and they never complained one bit, I guess, because they had no idea how to do it.
Right.
But I'm not the most technologically, advanced, but I
Mhm.
have learned a lot of technology to keep me up with where I need to be. I'm
Right.
not real good, like, what's that thing called? I want to say Loom or something where you put yourself, and I have a Manicam, but I'm not really good at using the Manicam.
Yeah. Me too.
But I'm open for it all. And I think we all
Right.
have to be, when computers first came out, so many were really resistant, but it's the way of the future
Yeah.
and it's where things are going. So, but the girl that had the online club for music teachers, she was ready. She'd had her thing going for 4 years, and you had
Right.
been with your YouTube channel and doing this. So you didn't know the pandemic was going to happen. But the pandemic ushered in with a new decade, one big change in education as a possibility for learning.
Right. Yeah, I didn't know it was coming when I first started, but within a couple of months of having my YouTube channel, we were actually visiting Hawaii and I think we got sick. I was sick in Hawaii in January and it came to the States in March. So like we had known it was coming because we were teachers for VIP Kid, and then I was sick, but I wasn't like coughing and everything, so I didn't know what was going on. I just knew I didn't want to leave the hotel in the place I had always dreamed about going, and I just couldn't do anything. Does that make sense? Like I was just, ugh.
Were you at the Halakoa Hotel?
No, we were down the road from there though.
Okay, that's one
Yeah.
of my favorite. So were you sick when you got to Hawaii?
Not when I got there, but
Yeah.
while I was there.
Okay.
I just all of a sudden my body was just like, oh, but I didn't know what it was or anything. But looking back, we're like, oh,
That might be what it was.
yeah. So, but I think you are amazing and better than you can see. I do mostly all lives because I'm terrible at editing and don't want to sit down and
It's
I
okay.
need to
It
learn edit.
works. It works. I don't blame you. You're doing great. And I'm thinking, well, what if somebody messes up? But I don't think anybody's ever messed up, and it just goes and it flows.
Yeah. I think I just love easy conversations and I've had so much fun getting to know you and I think your students are going to love you. How can people find you if they do want to look into taking classes with you?
Well, I'm on Facebook, and I will send you. I think I sent you you can put it in the link. I have an email.
The
And
email's in the
as you
description
can
box.
tell, I'm resistant for doing a website, but maybe I'll do one in 4 months. But so far, it's okay. And I'm taking a class right now. And the way she sold me on her program, she said, you can do all this without a website. So I'm trusting the process. And so far, I'm working at it and I'm getting good response. So email or Facebook, that's it. Email or Facebook.
Okay. And her email is in the description box below. And I think that's it. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
No, that's it. Thank you so much for allowing me the time to come and share my passion.
Yeah, it was really nice to meet you. And if you guys wouldn't mind, please like, share, and subscribe. And that's it. We'll see you all
Thank you
next
so much.
time.
I'll be in touch. Thank you
Thanks,
so
Cheryl.
much. Okay,
Bye.
bye.